Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Ethereum. We're going to do a full update on what you need to know about Ethereum right now. We'll talk about some fundamentals, including the US government shutdown and whether that's going to have an effect on crypto and therefore also on Ethereum. And then we'll talk about the technicals here specifically. I mean, Ethereum since yesterday has pulled back slightly, as you can see, but I would argue that we're still at the same price area, right? We've been able to reclaim the 7-day rolling VWAP after a good reaction here on the 90-day rolling VWAP. There's a bit of and I might need to draw this on the chart. Like, this is on the lower time frames a very important level. So that's around 4,075, I would say. Like, we've been able to break above that. That was also the last support that held last week Monday, when we obviously had a lot of aggressive selling going on. As long as we hold that short term, we're fine. We're relatively stable, but ultimately on the higher time frames, and this is something I've really hammered on in my last videos this week, on the higher time frames, if we really want to see a bullish Ethereum again, which is something I personally do not expect short term, medium term, long term, I do, but short term I don't, we need to reclaim 4,300. So that will be a general theme in all of my videos on Ethereum, same as in this video. All right, so be aware of that. If you watched my video yesterday, I'm going to be as critical about 4,300 again as I was yesterday. By the way, we also have the 30-day rolling VWAP there. So that's basically the last rolling VWAP we'd have to secure, we'd have to reclaim if we actually want to see that momentum. But okay, so if we take a look at Ethereum right now, so what I meant with that we're basically at the same level is this. I mean, yesterday morning we were a little bit higher, but ultimately we're still stuck between that resistance level at 4,300. We already filled that fair value gap to a decent extent right here at around 4,240. So that's already a bit diminished in terms of how strong that resistance is. And 4,075 is the main support. So that's the area that we are stuck in between. I think it's quite likely that we're at least going to remain relatively stable in this area. I would even go as far as saying that I think it's quite likely that we will actually be able to get a move to the upside to 4,300. I'm actually, short term, I'm actually quite bullish on Ethereum here. Wednesday is a pretty good day for Ethereum. And when we're talking about the general financial markets, even though there is a US government shutdown, historically for the financial markets, that hasn't always meant that it's bearish. Is it bullish? No. All right. But the volatility index, although it opened higher, is still relatively low. The S&P 500 is pulling back right here, but ultimately it's still holding on. And yesterday we closed the day with quite a lot of bullish momentum, right? And it's still in an uptrend. So the fundamentals, I think also, and especially the fundamentals in combination with the price action we're seeing so far from Ethereum, which, on the short term, you cannot describe as very bearish. On the short term, we've been able to actually secure quite a strong uptrend right here. And we even formed an imbalance on Sunday that we haven't filled yet. So yeah, short term, I'm actually relatively positive about Ethereum right here for a move into 4,300. I just don't see, by the way, the ETF inflows yesterday were also not that major again. But the thing is I just don't see enough strength to expect a breakout above 4,300. 4,300 is a very strong resistance level, stronger than 4,240, and look how we reacted to 4,240, quite aggressively. Quite a strong sell-off from there, right? So that's why I think short-term the best thing to expect is some more stability, because like I said, on the 1 hour time frame we look quite stable. I think you should be prepared for spikes down as well, given the fundamental context. A spike down to 4,000 seems like a possibility. That's the main area to watch. I do think that after that spike we'll be able to reclaim. So I'm not telling you we're going to dump right here. But I do think that we can expect a continuation from Bitcoin that can pull up Ethereum together with it, but I don't see any indications of Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, right? So I think Ethereum is going to follow Bitcoin to a certain extent, and that extent is 4,300. And then from there, I expect a pullback, right? So from there, I'm bearish again. But that is something I will keep you updated on. And if the fundamentals change, I might change my mind as well. But for now, that's it. So thank you for watching. I'll keep you updated on that. But for now, thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and week. And bye.